Hey everybody, Derek Christensen here. Today I wanted to kind of continue my past two videos I've been talking about marriage and talk about when does exempt property actually apply. Now that might not sound that very interesting, but it's actually very, very important for your estate planning. So listen up. But before I dive into that, I wanted to tell you how to reach out to me. You can email me, Derek, D-E-R-E-K, at legionlawpllc.com, or you can find me at my website, www.legionlawpllc.com. So with that, let's dive right in. So as I mentioned on my previous video, well actually my two videos ago, I mentioned how to make sure you're married. There's informal and formal marriage in Texas. The previous video was about, all right, you're married, so what benefits do you get? However, I wanted to explain how there's something called exempt property for spouses, but that exempt property is also applicable to other people in your family, but not all the time. And what I mean by that is, again, we're kind of reiterating the point, exempt property is property that is specifically protected by the Constitution of Texas that says if you have your loved one pass away and you qualify for this exempt property, then you will have your house protected, your car protected up to a certain amount, I think cash up to a certain amount, furniture, your goats, your ducks, I don't know. There are a lot of different livestock mentioned in there, guns, Bibles, all sorts of things. So all this property is protected from your loved one giving it away to someone else, or a creditor coming in and saying, hey, you owe me money, I'm going to force you to sell your cows, or whatever. So that's what exempt property is. But again, it applies only to spouses, minor children, and adult incapacitated children who are not married and living with the parents. So those are the three categories of people. Again, spouses can qualify and capitalize on exempt property. Minor children who are living with the spouses, or an unmarried adult child who is incapacitated to some degree. That could be, they have mental issues or they have physical disabilities or whatever on that front. So if you're one of those three, you can claim those exempt assets and prevent your parents from giving the house away to someone else if you're a minor child or other child, stuff like that. However, and there's an extremely important point here, that does not apply to adult children. That does not apply to any child who is 18 or older if they are outside of the house and just living their lives, which are most children, to be honest. So if that's the case, then you cannot claim exempt property. The exempt property does not apply to you, and that means that most likely your probate that you're going to have to do for your parents is going to have to go through every single asset. You can't say, these are the exempt ones, we're just going to forget about them over here. We'll go the faster probate because we have less to deal with now. No, if you're a married or an unmarried child living outside of the house, living your life normal, at college, living your job, whatever, you will have to go through probate because you cannot claim any exempt property from your parents. Now you can claim exempt property from your spouse if you're married, but not your parents. So oftentimes this will come up where I have a single child who comes to me and says, hey, my mom died. She was unmarried at the time of death and I'm the only child, so why can't I just take the childhood home? And the reason why is because Texas will not let her until she goes through probate. It's not exempt property. You can't just claim it immediately. You can't say that creditors can't, steal it back from you. So if your mom owed $300,000 in credit card bills and the house is worth $200,000, and that's it in the estate, you're going to lose the childhood home to the credit card company, whether or not you like it. And that's kind of unfortunate. So that is to say that the exempt property, the benefits of being a spouse, only apply to the spouse, minor child, or adult incapacitated unmarried child living with the parents. Other than that, everyone else has to suffer the consequences of the parents or whoever just passed away. And if they owed a lot of money, then the estate has to pay all that money before any kind of assets can go to the child or friend or family member or whatever else. So exempt property, again, great for spouses, great for minor children, and great for unmarried adult children who live with a family who have a disability. But everyone else, it's not great for them. It doesn't apply to them whatsoever, and you're most likely going to go through a tough form of probate. So if you are in that situation, I would strongly encourage your parents to get a will in place and get a trust in place. If you have a will in place, you're at least going to go through the faster form of probate, the cheaper form of probate. And if you have a trust in place and you fund it and you do it all correctly, you'll avoid probate entirely, and there's a stronger chance that you will be able to claim those assets without having to wait through all this nonsense called probate. So with that, if you have any questions about that, I'd be more than happy to answer questions. I look for feedback, commentary, whatever you want to send my way. Feel free to let me know. You can email me directly, Derek, D-E-R-E-K, at legionlawpllc.com, or you can go on my website, go to our Contact Us page, and schedule a free phone consultation directly onto my calendar at www.legionlawpllc.com. So thank you so much and have a great day.